So this video is not going to end until Auston Matthews wins himself a Stanley Cup. Right now he's 25 years old at 94 overall. For the first 2 seasons, the AI controls everything. After that, I'm allowed 1 free agent signing and 1 trade for the next 3 years. And then after those 3 years, I'm taking full control of the team and Auston Matthews is going to get himself a Stanley Cup. However, the biggest risk I have with all of this is Auston Matthews needs to return to the Toronto Maple Leafs. The AI has 2 years left with him because we're technically starting from the beginning of last season. They need to re-sign him after this offseason. So let's go ahead and simulate to the end of season number 1. Hopefully Toronto wins in year number 1 and then Auston Matthews gets his Stanley Cup and this video is over in 30 seconds. However, I'm talking about the Toronto Maple Leafs, so I think we all know that's not going to happen. But if you want Auston Matthews to finally win a Stanley Cup and you want the Leafs to see some type of success, then make sure you subscribe to the channel. And if you're already subscribed to the channel and you can't subscribe again, then drop a like on the video. So after re-simming the 2022-2023 season, the Toronto Maple Leafs are going to be finishing 9th in the entire league, 44-29-9, and right behind them the Tampa Bay Lightning, so I think you already know who we're taking on in the first round. Matthews is going to be having a better season this time around. He's picking up 54 goals and 45 assists for 99 points. William Nylander's picking up 92, while Mitch Marner's going to be picking up 91. And shout out to the St. Louis legend Ryan O'Reilly. He's picking up 74 points. You love to see it. Meanwhile, the goaltending for this team was very questionable. Samsonov, although he's picking up 33 wins, an 898 save percentage, and a 327 goals against, definitely isn't it. So if we want to have a chance at the Stanley Cup, you need to step these numbers up real quick. And as I said earlier, we already know who we're going to be taking on in the first round. That's going to be the Tampa Bay Lightning. So Auston Matthews, you have a fantastic chance to end this video right now. All you gotta do is win a Stanley Cup. So don't fall in the first round, although that's probably what's going to happen. They're taking game 1 7-6. Alright, good to see the goaltending showing out in this game, but it doesn't look like Toronto's going to be able to get past the first round. Once again, they're falling in 6 games. I guess some things never change. I mean, I guess I can't technically make these jokes anymore because Toronto did get past the first round. Auston Matthews picked up 9 points, shout out to him. No, but you guys won 5 games in the playoffs last season. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. It's a long way to go for you guys. But you are headed in the right direction, so I'll give you that. So it looks like we got ourselves a rematch of last year's Stanley Cup final. The Colorado Avalanche are taking down the Tampa Bay Lightning in 7 games. Also, the Anaheim Ducks somehow made the playoffs with our current team. Alright, let's just move on. Before we move on though, Auston Matthews, 9 points in 6 games. We already knew that, but you did your thing this season. Now Samsonov, nah, not only did you not step it up, but you actually stepped backwards and were even worse. Like, I didn't even think that would be possible, but an 880 and a 407. We might have to move on from you in the offseason, but hey, that's not my decision. So we're headed to the draft and a lot of things are happening. Somehow Chicago is still going to end up getting the first overall pick, so they're going to get Bedard. You hate to see it, you really do. But Arizona's jumping all the way to 2 with Ottawa's pick, even though it's top 10 protected, because why would you ever be able to protect a pick in a video game? Like, I mean, I know for a fact NBA 2K has it, so if it's not added in NHL 24, I don't know what they're doing. So one thing we have to know about this right now is the CPU's drafting. I just want to see if Bedard goes first. Of course he does. I had no clue if there was some other stud that somehow made it into this draft class or not. But nah. Toronto, what's your drafting going to be looking like? I just got to remind y'all, I can't draft right now, so what are y'all going to be cooking up? Because I know for the fact the CPU is not cooking. High top 9 potential. Definitely not what you want. That is very, very tough. So heading into the offseason, 10 million. Of course, there's a handful of guys we want to bring back here. Ryan O'Reilly, of course, is one of them. Michael Bunting. Honestly, I'm okay if he walks away. Keep in mind, the CPU is making all these decisions. Just want to remind you, so this isn't me. In 2 more years, it will be me. Let's see what this team's cooking up. Samsonov's going to be coming back here on a 2-year deal worth $4 million. Honestly, that's a pretty solid deal. I can definitely live with that. Is Ryan O'Reilly coming back? Because to me, that's the big one. If we're somehow able to bring him back, then that's a massive W. It doesn't look like it. We signed somebody else, though. I don't know who we signed, but we used the rest of the money. It looks like we're losing Michael Bunting and Ryan O'Reilly. Who did we just sign, though? Hold on. Signed recently. Gustafsson, $4.5 million for 4 years. He's 31 years old and 83 overall. So it's good to see the CPUs using the money in the most logical ways. That's a tough look, that's all I can say. So since the team only has like 2 million left in cap space, there's no point in me spending any time in free agency. Let's get right to next season. So after free agency wrapped up, this team's definitely not looking good. Dodonov, we're bringing you in on a 2-year deal with 1.7. I can live with that contract. This bottom 6 though, yikes. Matthew Nyes, I mean, I feel like you should play here, but that's not my decision to make. That's the CPU. They want you playing on the 3rd line, then go right ahead. Nick Robertson, okay, not bad, but Kyle Clifford at 32 years old. Alex Steves, he's 23. I mean, maybe he can head in the right direction. And then Bobby McMahon, I'm going to be honest, I've never heard of you in my life, but hey, maybe you're him. Not really too sure. Looking at the defense, Jake Muzzin's here. I guess he's healthy enough to play, so we'll run with it. In between the pipes, you already know who we got here. Samsonov and Matt Murray. We'll see if we'll get a different result this season. If we don't, I'm taking over next season, and in a limited role, I'm allowed to make one trade and one signing. I would not be overly surprised if this team missed the playoffs this season, because our bottom 6 is abysmal. Like, I don't know what we're wasting our money on, but nah, this ain't it. Also, hold on, did we bring Auston Matthews back? Please say we've already re-signed him, because if we haven't, then I gotta find a way to bring him back to this team, because why would I ever be able to switch teams? Like, if he goes to the Boston Bruins, I can't bring him back. Okay, he did re-sign and he took a discount for 1 season. You signed him to a 1-year deal, a 1-year extension, and we gave William Nylander almost just as much, 10.2 million. So thankfully the CPU is setting me up to succeed. All I have to do is re-sign Auston Matthews, Mitch Marner, and John Tavares in 1 off season. Not gonna lie, Johnny T, I'm probably trading you next season. Thank God NHL 23 doesn't have no trade clauses, because we would be screwed. But of course this is not realistic in any means, so Johnny T, you're gone next season. Alright, so here's what happened. My mic was muted. Of course, we didn't win the Stanley Cup, as you see. The Pittsburgh Penguins did. But how did our Toronto Maple Leafs do? Well, we lost in 5 games to the Florida Panthers in the first round. The Pittsburgh Penguins don't have Erik Karlsson, just want to mention that, so that's good to know. Also, I think I just completely missed everything, so let's just redo all this real quick. So we finished 6th in the entire league with a 45, 27, and 10 record. Not the greatest record by any means, but hey, I'll take 6th in the entire league. Johnny T led the way with 87 points, and this team was a complete disappointment. Matthews had less than a point a game, Marner had 79 points, and the guy we're paying $10.2 million next season, and William Nylander, just picked up 71 points. Yeah, definitely not the greatest season by any means, but Dadonov, I mean, 50 points for 1.7 million, you're holding it down. Although Samsonov's numbers look better this season with a 911 save percentage and a 289 goals against, I was expecting him to do better in the postseason. Clearly, that didn't happen. And if you're thinking, man, Crosby must have absolutely dominated, probably picking up 19 points or something a game, nah. This dude had 24 points in 21 games, wasn't amazing by any means, but who was the Stanley Cup winning goaltender? Probably Tristan Jarry, right? Nah, Casey DeSmith. 82 overall Casey DeSmith, a 918 and a 267. How did this dude just win a Stanley Cup? That makes absolutely no sense. But nah, this Toronto team, complete frauds. But don't worry, because after the draft and the re-sign phase, I'm taking over. This is my team now, so I'm not messing around whatsoever. The draft, re-sign phase, I'm not even paying attention to that. Right to free agency. It's time for me to cook and turn this team around. And Johnny T, thank God you just had a fantastic season, because I'm trading you. I'm either trading you or William Nylander. Haven't really decided. It's probably going to depend on how much John Tavares asks for in free agency, because if this dude wants to come back and he's like, you got to pay me 11 million to come back, yeah, not a chance that's happening. You're gone. So we're officially in free agency. What did this team do during the re-sign phase? Probably used up all of our money. We have 12.1 to work with. That's actually not too bad. Do we have anyone expiring? I think it's Matthews, Marner, Tavares. Okay, Matthews, what are you looking for? Oh yeah, I can't give you an extension yet because we signed you to a 1-year deal. Like, that's just absolutely fantastic. Mitch Marner, where are you looking at? 10.2. I can probably get you for like 9.75 or something. That's all I'll give you. 8 years at 9.75. You'll probably accept that. Johnny T, what do you want? 9.6 isn't the end of the world. So do I re-sign Johnny T here to give him 9.2 million for 3 years? And then get rid of William Nylander? That's something I'll have to ponder for a second. Also, Matthew Nyes, I'm giving you an extension right now. 3 years. I'm giving you a 8-year extension because you're playing on the second line now. So there you go. 8 years at 2.3 million. That's going to be an absolute steal for us. And even if he peaks at like an 83 overall, 2.3 million for an 83 overall is elite. Also, Nick Robertson, what do you want? Oh, I can't give you a deal because the AI was absolutely cooking with this team. And so I'm starting off, I'd like to bring you back, but not for 7.2 million. I could probably get somebody that's the same overall as you for like 5. So do I want John Tavares at 9.2 million or William Nylander at 10.2? William Nylander is 5 years younger, so he'll stay at an 89 overall longer than John Tavares is going to be an 88. Johnny T, you're getting traded. It just has to happen. So I think this is the move. Holtz, 85 overall, and he wants a cheap contract around 3.6 million. 5 years or maybe even 6 years, and I do 6 years, I can get him at 4 million. That's a pretty solid deal for a second line guy. The only issue is if I want to bring him in, I have to give up draft compensation. Not unless we make some moves here. Holtz, what's your trade value? Okay, it's decently high, but I can work with that. And then Luke Hughes, hold on. Are we cooking something up here? We might be cooking something here. Johnny T for both of these guys. I'll have to give up some other assets, but I mean, we could be heading in the right direction here because Luke Hughes, already an 86 overall, the future defenseman of this team, and then Holtz on a cheap deal. I think that's the move. Do I also ditch Gustafsson here? That might be the move because if I get rid of him, I get rid of that contract. I clear up $11 million in cap space. That will help us bring back Matthews next season. Well, I mean, the Tavares contract doesn't really impact next season, but do 2/3. I mean, we have a 2026 first rounder, but 2 third-rounders. Is that enough to get this deal done? I feel like we're headed in the right direction. I'll throw a first rounder in the deal because I feel like that's enough to get this done. We're probably getting finessed here. We might have got finessed. We probably could have got a bit more, but I like what we're doing here. So that contract will age really well for us. So you're coming back now. And then we'll do Luke Hughes. What do you want? I would give him 8 years, but I don't think this is going to take 8 years to do. So 6 years at 4.75. So we have a franchise defenseman in Luke Hughes, a solid second line player in Holtz, and we still have a ton of cap space to work with. We have 25 million. What's the goaltender market looking like? Okay, so the one thing I completely forgot is I'm allowed to make 2 moves, but the CPU is also still allowed to make moves, and they want to bring in Jacob Voracek on a 2-year deal worth about $7 million. The CPU is going to waste my money, so I got to make sure I bring in Sorokin right now. I'm going to overpay. I'm going to do 8.75. That's just enough to make sure we'll get him here. No questions asked. But nah, the CPU, I might have to turn that off. Okay, so we have our goaltending tandem for next season. Sorokin, Samsonov. Samsonov, I'm going to let you walk. But we might have something here because I like what we're doing. I just realized we're screwed. We signed Voracek. Oh, 1-year deal. We gave him $8 million for 1 year. No, we got to make sure we bring back the right players next season. Matthews, can I re-sign you yet? Okay, we're going to simulate to next season. And I got to make sure I can bring Auston Matthews back because right now we're not being smart with our money. Well, I mean, I'm being smart with our money, but the CPU is like, no, I'm just going to spend all of it. Allowing the CPU to spend your money is just an added challenge to this video because the CPU doesn't make good decisions whatsoever. It just says, we got 20 million to work with. Let's spend all 20 million and not consider any of the repercussions. All right, so here's what the team's looking like right now. Auston Matthews, William Nylander, and Holtz on the first line, Mitch Marner, Calle Jarnkrok, and Jacob Voracek on the second. The bottom 6 looks way better than it did last season, so I'm not worried about that. Defensively, this team's actually not bad. I mean, the right defense could definitely use some work. Why did we bring in Forsling? Why would we make that? What did we sign him for? Okay, we have to get rid of him in the offseason. I'm turning that off right now. Hold on. Actually, for one more season, the CPU is allowed to make signings. After that, I get full control of the team. I might change that rule, though, because the CPU is really kind of just wasting money and signing players we don't need. So I'll simulate to January 1st, and at January 1st, we'll try to give Auston Matthews an extension, because I think we have to wait till the 1st. I really don't know. Let's just see what happens. All right, so our team's currently 25-8-4. Yeah, so we're clearly the best team in the league right now. Mitch Marner's excelling on that second line. Nah, the team's looking absolutely elite right now. Auston Matthews, can I give you an extension now? Yes, I can. 10.6 million. I'll give you 10.35. Save a couple thousand. Why not? There you go. So Matthews is coming back to the team next offseason, or next season, I should say. We're making moves right now, and the team's excelling. Let's get right to the end of the season. Go get ourselves the Stanley Cup, because I refuse to believe we missed the playoffs. But I mean, anything's possible in this game. But we're 25-8-4. We're cruising through the league right now. The best goaltender in between the pipes. So the boys were absolutely cruising this season. 3rd in the entire league, 51-23-8. The only teams ahead of us were Colorado and Anaheim. And honestly, we were better offensively than them. Yeah, they were better defensively than them, but hey, that offense is going to make up the difference. I can tell you that for free. Mitch Marner was absolutely dominant on that second line because he's going to be leading the team with 110 points. But Auston Matthews, why not? 57 goals, 51 helpers, 108 points. A pretty solid season from him. And William Nylander, I love the bounce back from you. 103 points, 300-point scores on this team. It's time for us to hoist that Stanley Cup. Okay, you were mid this season, Sorokin. I'm just going to be completely honest with you. 35 wins is great, 5 shouts, fantastic. But a 901 and a 306? What's going on here? What's really going on here? So this team's lost in the first round a handful of times. Actually, more than a handful. 99% of the time they're in the playoffs, they lose in the first round. But not this time. Not to the Philadelphia Flyers. Out of all teams, I refuse to lose to the Philadelphia Flyers in the first round. We can't let that happen. We're taking game 1. We're taking game 2. Are we going to go for the sweep? All you have to do is give me 1 season. 1 season was all I asked for. A sweep. I made 2 moves. Got rid of Johnny T, brought in an elite defenseman and a solid first line player for us, and I brought in a goaltender. Clean sweep in the first round. Don't doubt me. Also, shout out to Willie Stiles, picking up 6 assists for 6 points in 4 games. Keep doing your thing, my guy, and we'll be able to hoist the Stanley Cup. But now we have our toughest task yet. This isn't the Philadelphia Flyers we have to take on. No, this is the Tampa Bay Lightning, a team that's handed Toronto multiple L's, countless losses, but not today, not anymore. We're going for another sweep. We're going for back-to-back sweeps here, and nothing's going to stop us. We won game 1, we lost game 2. Okay, we just lost 3 straight. Not what I was hoping for. Not at all. And just like that, after winning 5 straight games, we lose 4 straight. I don't really have too much to say about that. Auston Matthews had 10 points, so I guess that's a positive, but nah, we're gonna make a few changes in the offseason. I'm allowed 2 moves, and then after next season, I get full control of the team. And once I have full control, it's wraps. So are you telling me if we were able to beat the Tampa Bay Lightning, we would have won a Stanley Cup? Not gonna lie, that's a tough one to process, but there is one thing that would be even tougher to process. If we gave Jacob Voracek an extension, please tell me we didn't give him an extension. Okay, good. I do not want to pay this man. How much is he asking for? 5.8. Actually, 5.8's not crazy. What'd you do for points this season? Because you weren't that bad. Okay, you were over a point a game for $5 million. There's a very good chance I bring you back to this team. We'll make some changes to the defensive core, but we'll be back. Also, Nick Robertson, what do you want for an extension? How about this? As a third line piece for us, I'll give you 2.5 before the cap goes up to. Actually, you get 2.4. Let's see if he accepts that. So we're in the re-sign phase, and Jacob Voracek, I should have signed you at $5 million. I made a mistake there, but you know what? We're gonna learn from that mistake. We got $12 million to work with. I don't really want to bring any of these guys back. Maybe Jake McCabe. Actually, we don't need a left defenseman, so actually, how much do you want? As the third pairing defenseman, Jake McCabe might not be bad. I'll give you 1.5 million, and 82 overall in the third pairing isn't bad because I'm gonna trade Forsling because I don't need him. And Dodonov, what do you want? Yeah, not at a 78 overall. Never mind. I'll bring the Wall back because he can be our backup, because I'm not bringing back Samsonov because how much do you want? Yeah, 6.3. I'm not giving you 6.3 to be our backup. So the Wall is going to be our backup next season. Voracek's going to walk. Connor Timmins, I'm probably going to... You're walking. Yeah, I'm not bringing you back for that price. That's ridiculous. All right, before we mess around with anything, auto free agent signings off. I'm not messing around. We're not taking any risks anymore. I'm not allowing us to bring in guys like Voracek and Forsling because they just don't fit the timeline. It makes no sense for us. Okay, so I think what we need is a good defensive defenseman. If we have a great defensive defenseman on our like second or maybe even first line, and they have to be a right defenseman though. If we can bring in one of those at a cheap price, it could be the move. Adam Larson, might sign him in free agency, but I feel like we can get a better deal somewhere. Okay, Pesce an 87 overall, 5 years at 5.4 million. That's the move. Like, I don't even have to contemplate that. That's a fantastic deal. And then we're going to get rid of Forsling in this deal because I don't need him to play on the left side for us. We're going to free up $1 million in this move. No, this is just a W move. So I'm going to include a second rounder into this deal because they said no to Forsling straight up for Pesce. We're going to get the deal done here. I guess not. I got to sweeten the touch a bit. So here's a 7th rounder. That should be enough to get this done. Okay, we got Brett Pesce now. The right side on the defense is much better. We just got to fill out the rest of the core, I guess. All right, so I'm cooking something up here. I got to trade a prospect though. We'll go with, I guess not a prospect, just give me a young guy. I guess him. So it is a prospect. Can we get this done? What I'm trying to do is bring in a depth center and then another guy to play on the right side defense who's a defensive defenseman because I think our offense is good enough. We have to be better defensively. So Peak, I'm looking to bring you in to play on the third pairing. So here we go, a 3rd rounder because I don't care about draft picks. The deal's done. I feel like our team's in a good spot now. Now extensions, Cal Yarncrow, I want to keep you around. Just kidding. Not a chance you stay on this team. Peak, I would also like to keep you around. Maybe not at that price though. Foot, can I keep you around? We might not be keeping any of these guys. You better be a cheap contract. Yeah, okay. I'll give you 5 years at this. You'll be able to be a 4th line piece for us for the rest of your career, and that's exactly what we need. So now I've done all the moves I want to do. I'll turn auto sign free agents back on for this last off season because once it hits next season, I get full control of the team. Okay, hold on now. Was the CPU low-key cooking? Because our top 6 looks great, and then the bottom 6, that looks fantastic. I don't know why they were signing all these studs like Adam Henrique, Matt Japani, Engvall. He's back on the team. I mean, I shouldn't say studs like 83 overall and 84 overall, but I mean, for the role they're playing, those are amazing pickup. Defensively, this team looks great. I mean, I got no issues. Morgan Riley and Brett Pesce in the first pairing, Luke Hughes and Andrew Peak on that second pairing. That's pretty solid. And on the third pairing, we got Logren and McCabe. I got no issue with that whatsoever. In between the pipes, of course, we have Sorokin, but Antti Rant is here for 2 years at 1.1 million. I don't know why he's here because he's a 79 overall. I'm just going to call Joseph Wall up because why wouldn't I want him in between the pipes? But show it to the CPU. Never thought I would say those words. This is our best chance of ever winning a Stanley Cup. First in the entire league, 54, 22, and 6, averaging 3.82 goals per game, only allowing 2.99 allowed. So this is the season we closed it out. Matthews has got 55 goals and 42 Albers for 97 points. Marner's got 95 points. William Nylander's picked up 88, and Cal Yarncrow, he's picked up 69 points. Nyes has got 67. We cannot fold this season. Sorokin, best year yet, 41 wins, 5 shots, a 904 and a 293. This is our chance to win a Stanley Cup. Our team probably won't be better next next season because we're going to lose Cal Yarcrow because he wants like 15 million. That's not happening. We got Carolina. We already know this is an elite team, but we're also an elite team. We won 10 more games than these boys, but I also know this team seems to fold a lot. So here we go, simulating the first 4 games, and we lost game number 1. Yeah, that's not the greatest sign in the world. We're down 3-1 in the series. Okay, let's just simulate the rest of this. I already know we're falling in the first round. Who would have seen that one coming? Like, honestly, it's actually ridiculous at this point. We made a bit of a comeback only to fall in game 7. Why did we even come back? Why did we even bother coming back in this series only to lose in game 7? I've got full control of the Leafs now. Every decision from here on out is my decision and my decision only. Things are about to change. No, but real talk, does it really matter what I do with this team? Because we won 54 games this season only to fall in 7 games. Also, Carolina made it all the way to the Stanley Cup final. I'm going to go ahead and simulate through this. I don't know why it's taking so long. Is there like 9-day breaks or something? Like, my God. Okay, it looks like Dallas is going to win. Yeah, Dallas is winning the Stanley Cup, defeating the Carolina Hurricanes. Mitch Marner led the team with 11 points in 7 games. I'm taking over. Looking at contracts real quick. I just want to see what Cal Yarcrow is asking for. I already know it's way too much at 34 years old. Yeah, that's not happening. Things are changing in the offseason. Andrew Peak, can I bring you back at a reasonable price? Yes and no. I don't think it's worth it for an 83 overall. All right, so we really don't have any picks here. I mean, our top pick is the 124th overall, so not much is going to be happening here. I take that back. Hold on here. Are we going to get a medium elite potential goalie? No, we aren't. We're getting screwed. All right, I don't care about the rest of these picks. We're just going to simulate the rest of the draft. I take that back. I want one more selection. We got screwed on that last selection. We got to run it back. And good thing I did, because we're going to be getting a low elite potential player here. Yes, we are. You love to see it. You really do. I'm actually going to do the rest of the draft now just because I have faith in my drafting skills. I have zero faith in the CPU. Another medium elite potential player here. Doesn't look like it. We'll sim the rest of the draft and we'll head into free agency. So I really like Andrew Peak on the team right now. I'm going to give him 4.5 million. If he accepts that, then I'll bring him back to the team. But if he doesn't accept that, then we're going to be walking away from him. It looks like he's going to be sticking around on the team for a bit longer as he's accepting the deal. I'm targeting Velarde. He's an RFA right now, but I'm going to trade for his rights and I'll bring him in at like 3.5 million to put on the third line. That's a steal of a deal. And I'll even give him a 5-year deal. So, I mean, if we have to go longer than 2 more seasons, his contract's still going to be great for us. So, Velarde, welcome to the team. And Velarde's trade value isn't even that high right now. So, I mean, this is an easy move for us. And then I'll give you, I don't even know who I'm going to give you. This is Majapani. Majapani straight up for Velarde. That's a steal of a deal. They're going to say no to that, but you know what? We'll make some adjustments here. Here's a 3rd rounder. Why not? A 3rd rounder in Majapani. Give me Velarde. All right, you're playing hardball right now. I'll give you a 6th rounder as well. That should be more than enough to get this deal done. All right, there we go. We got our 3rd line center. Also, I just realized Calvin DeHaan is on this team. Paying him $2 million. I'm pretty sure he's not playing at all. So there you go, Boston. Clear up $2 million for us. Why not? Okay, so Velarde, 5-year deal, 3.325 million. I think he's what, 100K more than Majapani, but he's like 4 overalls higher. All right, so Patty Kane, I feel like I can get you for less than 6 million, so I'm going to wait a few days. And then who's the other one I was going after? Kopitar. What's Kopitar looking at? I feel like I can get you for a little less too. So I'm going to bring Kopitar onto this team. He might play left wing. He might even play right wing. I'm going to have him out of position more than likely. But no, we're going to win a Stanley Cup, and that's a fact. So Patrick Kane got 1 deal offered at 6 million. So I'll give him like 6.3 for 1 year. Okay, Patrick Kane is not coming to the team because I just realized he wants 7. You know what? I can do a 2-year deal. Patty Kane, I'll give you 2 years at 6.3 million. Worst case Ontario, I'd trade you next season. Because we have to remember in this game, for some reason, it's just completely broken where even if they're like an 82 overall, they can still produce at like 90 points as long as they have good enough line mates. Did he say no to my deal? He said no to my deal. Oh, we ran out of cap space. Why did we run? I have free agent signings. I have the free agent signing thing on. Who did we sign? Who did this team just sign? Oh no, I left the auto sign free agents on. Who did we sign? Okay, Velarde, fair enough. Tyson Barrie. We gave Tyson Barrie 7.2 million. We don't need Tyson Barrie. Okay, we got to reevaluate things here. Okay, so since I forgot to turn this off, I do not want Tyson Barrie on our team whatsoever. So Detroit, what I'm going to do for you is you can have Tyson Barrie for a 7th rounder. I don't care. I want to dump the contract. I should have turned auto sign free agents off. I didn't want to give myself a bunch of assets because that's kind of cheating, just signing them and then immediately flipping them right after. So in this scenario, we're basically just acting like nothing happened. So everything's falling apart here. Patrick Kane, I'm not paying that much money for him. I'm just not. And Anze Kopitar signed somewhere else. So there's nobody left here that has X factors. players. I mean, David Krejci, that's not the end of the world to play on the fourth line, but not exactly what I wanted. I don't think any of these guys have X factors, so I think we're gonna have to do some trades here. No, real talk, I really screwed that one up. We had a chance of doing something special here. Okay, so I'm literally just going through who has the lowest trade value that also has X factors. Sale here has 2 X factors, including a superstar X factor, and you would fit on our third line, so I think I'm gonna make a move for him. So Yanni Gourde could be the move here on a risky play. He's an 86 overall, 34 years old, 5.9 million, kind of works for us. He's got X factors, so let's get risky here. We got nothing to lose. I mean, we have absolutely everything to lose, but yeah, let's just see if we can get something done. And we do have these young guys here that I guess they want, so all right, let's get something done. So I'm definitely gonna have to throw a pick into this deal. I'll give them a 3rd rounder. I think this is enough for Yanni Gourde. They're saying no to that, but I think we're pretty close, so I'll give you 2 7ths as well. Yeah, why not? Here's 2 7th round picks for him. We got Yanni Gourde, and we still have $5 million to work with. So I don't want to say we're going all in this season, but we're making a lot of moves here, and we're acquiring a lot of assets. Luckily, a lot of these guys are going to be back next season, but even still, we're getting risky out here. Okay, just give me a 4th rounder in this deal as well. Okay, you know what? Both of these guys for sale. Oh, you're still saying no to that. Okay, what do you want? Here's a 6th rounder. Actually, you know what? We're going to 2028 5th rounder. There you go. That's enough to get this deal done. And our forward core should be locked up now. And we still have $6 million in cap space. Overall wise, who's left here that we can bring in on a 1-year deal? Evander Kane's not the end of the world if he can play on the bottom 6, and that's exactly what he can play. So, all right, there we go. Evander Kane, 1-year deal at $4.4 million, just so I can make sure that you join the team. So I don't want somebody offering a 2-year deal at a bit more and then we don't get him. Dylan Dubé on a 1-year deal worth $2 million. And then that's going to be our final move of the offseason. Okay, no cap. If we lose this season, I might give up. Auston Matthews, Evander Kane, William Nylander on that first line, +3 overall boost. Mitch Marner, Velarde, and Holtz on the second line for a +2 overall boost. Nyes, Gourde, and Dubé on the third line, +2 overall boost. And then on that fourth line, we got 3 solid pieces here, all over an 80 overall. Defensively, Morgan Rielly continues to lead the way, but Brett Pesce's still there at an 87. They're getting a +3 overall boost on the second line. Liljegren and Luke Hughes, a +1 overall boost. And then we got McCabe and Peak on that third pairing. I mean, they don't need a +1 overall boost. An 83 and an 82 as your third pairing is pretty solid. And in between the pipes, you already know Sorokin and Wall. Sorokin's even up to a 90 overall. This is our year. I can't stress this enough, because after this season, I think we get into a bit of cap trouble. Well, I mean, there's a handful of players here on 1-year deals, so I know for a fact we're losing some people in the off season. I mean, worst case Ontario, I just do a bunch of moves during the off season. Like, I can clear up that cap space, but can I clear up the cap space to be better than we are this season? I'm not really too sure about that one. Okay, so we have 40 wins at the trade deadline, 40, 19, and 3, I believe, and we're not even first in our division, so we got to make one move here if we can. Like, I don't even know how that's possible that we're this good right now, yet we're not first in our division. Is there anyone here that has X factors that would actually make sense? Why would we be shopping Brett Pesce? He's our #1 right defenseman. In what world are we shopping Brett Pesce right now? All right, so we're finishing the year out struggling a little bit. We're going to finish 50, 27, and 5, third in our division, but you have to consider third in our division is also what? 6th in the entire league. So given everything, we actually had a pretty good season, a small step back from last season, but hey, I can live with what we did here. Mitch Marner is going to be leading the way. He's picking up 99 points. Auston Matthews, I'm expecting more from you, at least 50 goals. He's only getting 49 goals and 37 helpers for 86 points. Well, William Nylander, 79 points. You should be doing more, especially since you're getting paid $10 million. If we don't win the Stanley Cup this season, you're on the chopping block. Well, Velarde, you're goated. Nothing to say about that. Meanwhile, Sorokin's looking absolutely fantastic. 41 wins, 3 shots, a 906 and a 289. Those are definitely Stanley Cup numbers because I have scoring frequency on high. So when you compare those to the rest of the league, yeah, he's definitely a top 5 goaltender right now, maybe even top 3. And you probably can make the argument he's #1. Then again, Kochetkov literally beat him in almost every single category, so take that with a grain of salt, I guess. And in the first round, we don't have to worry about Tampa because we're taking on the Florida Panthers. What happened last time we took on Florida? We either swept them or we lost in 5 games. I think we lost in 5 games because that was last season, and then 2 seasons ago we beat somebody in the first round. We swept them. I can't really remember. It's been a minute since those days. Let's go get ourselves a Stanley Cup. So Florida's definitely not going to be an easy task for us, but I mean, we're a pretty solid team here. I doubt we're going to be folding in the first round. Psych, we're losing in 4 games. Actually, we did not bad. We won 2 of those. Yeah, I just had a feeling we're going to somehow lose in 4 games, get swept, you know, go out terrible. But here we are heading into Game 7 elimination, and we actually have a slight chance of making it to the second round. Now, something about this Toronto team just gives me absolutely no faith in them. And I think it's the fact that they're the Toronto Maple Leafs. Okay, scoreless after 1. Auston Matthews is picking up the big goal in the second period. Oh, we're dominating. Oh, these boys can't even play with us right now. 5-0, Game 7 elimination, 4 goals in the third period, and we're off to the second round. Moving on to our second round matchup, I think we had ourselves a big upset as the Philadelphia Flyers are taking down the Montreal Canadiens. Was Montreal really high up in the standings? I feel like they were 1 or 2. Okay, they were number 1 in our conference, or division I should say. They're also number 1 in the conference, but they're also number 1 in the entire league. And the Philadelphia Flyers are taking them down. You'll love to see it. I don't know how long it's been paused for, but we just swept the Philadelphia Flyers. No, it's a tough look for them, I ain't even gonna lie. But we've made it to the conference finals, we got the New York Rangers now, and if Edmonton somehow beats Seattle, we got Connor McDavid versus Auston Matthews. That's gonna be a great matchup. But I'll quickly show you the games, because I mean, like, it was a dominant sweep for us. We were absolutely cruising through this team. Then again, they were all 1-goal games, so yeah, we didn't really cruise through them, but we beat them in 4 games, so a win is a win is a win is a win. So we're simulating 4 games. We better not get swept in 4. Okay, we're actually looking pretty good right now. A 3-1 series lead. Edmonton's also got a 3-1 series lead. So it looks like that's who we're going to be matching up against as long as we don't fold. Please don't fold. We're folding. We had a 3-1 series lead. We're heading to game 7. This team is folding. Why does that not surprise me? Like, it just doesn't. But if we blow a 3-1 series lead, no, I'm not going to be able to handle this. We're picking up a goal in game 1. What am I talking about? First period. We have a 2-1 lead. I'm not making sense anymore. We're winning 3-1. Yes, I said a goal in game 1 when I meant first period. It doesn't matter. We're past the New York Rangers, and we have our Stanley Cup final matchup set. The Toronto Maple Leafs taking on the Edmonton Oilers. Auston Matthews versus Connor McDavid. The records for these two teams are almost identical. We already know what's about to happen. Auston Matthews is about to take over, and we're winning a Stanley Cup. Probably not, but I mean, a man can hope, right? So it all comes down to this one final series. We had a 3-1 series lead in the last time around, and then we kind of blew that. We're up 3-1. It's over. It's all over. Auston Matthews and the Toronto Maple Leafs are Stanley Cup champions. It's done. We finally completed the challenge. Auston Matthews, he's carrying the way. 12 goals, 12 assists, 24 points in 23 games. He's our guy. He was the man that carried this team the entire way. And William Nylander, I am sorry for contemplating trading you. You showed up when it mattered most. 22 points in 23 games. Mitch Marner, you showed out as well. Evander Kane-Velarde, Holtz, Morgan Riley, Luke Hughes, Brett Pesce. No, the entire team showed up. You'll love to see it. The team played great all around, and here we are at the top of the league, Stanley Cup champions, and Auston Matthews has finally won a Stanley Cup in the year 2027.